In this video, we're going to show you how to install a door handle on your Jeep Wrangler located on the driver's side door. The process for this is the same as the passenger side. Using your window crank removal tool here, you want to put it between the window crank and the trim behind it. And you're going to work this around, and you want to release the retainer clip that holds the window crank onto the shaft. All right, this is the clip that you're going to be removing. You want to be careful. This is a spring-loaded clip and can shoot out the side of it, and you can lose it very easy. Go ahead and slide this off. And what you're doing is when you release this here, this goes behind and it pops this clip out of the notches on the crank itself. This pops into a groove on the spline shaft on your window module right here. Use a Phillips head screwdriver, loosen and remove the screw in the center of the door handle. Now there's 3 screws to remove. There would normally be one here right underneath the door latch unit right here. And then across the bottom, there are 2 here. And you want to go ahead and remove these 3 screws using a T20 Torx bit or a Torx driver. Remove the 2 Torx bits here. These are T20. Grab that door panel, lift it up, work that off of the door. Now at this point, go ahead and take your window crank. Don't put the clip on it. I want to go ahead and roll up our window here. And remove your handle and set that aside. Now once you have your door panel off, at this point here, you normally have a water shield here that comes down completely over this cover here. Well, someone was already in here previous and they just cut it out. Not normally recommended, but what you want to do is go ahead and grab that water shield and peel that off. This has a sticky adhesive backing on it. And you would peel this off, okay? At this point, well, it's totally open to us. So let's go ahead and continue to access what we need to. This rod right here, we're going to disconnect this from the actuator unit right here. It's going to allow us from better access to the handle on the back side. This red clip right here needs to pop down and off of the rod. It's going to pinch that and rock that down. Push that rod out. It's going to allow us a little more access to get up inside here. Now I'm going to use a pick and I'm going to come in through the top side of the door, and right here is a little cotter pin or a clip, okay? It's holding this rod to the handle itself. So I'm going to go ahead and use my pick and go ahead and pull this out. Like so, and remove that. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. Now up inside here on the left hand side, there's going to be a little clip. Now we have to use our flathead screwdriver and we're going to pry up on one side here, and this is going to actually release the locking mechanism. It'll be easy to show you once we pull this off on how it's done. We're going to go ahead and work on this here, and we're going to release this side of the clip. Now the rod itself that we had removed the cotter pin from, we're going to pull that out and separate that from the door handle itself. I'm going to reach up inside, and on the back side of that door handle, where that rod slipped onto is a little beveled washer. So we want to grab that and pull that off. So there is the washer, and it is curved, and the curved side was facing inward. Now at this point, the door handle should be coming out of the door. It might take a little bit of effort to try and get this out because, well, it's been in there for over 20-something years. So it could be rusted in. Gonna have to work that a little bit. Also reaching up on the inside, giving a little push here and there. On the inside, I'm pulling out the locking mechanism on the left-hand side of the handle. Gonna do the same on the right-hand side. Now the handle out, here's that locking mechanism here. Here's the tab that we were bending out. These are on each side. So we're going to pull these out. Now's a good time to go ahead and clean up the door around where the handle was. Now these jigsaw style wedge locks are pretty unique. There's one on each side, and how this actually works is once you put the door handle in, we're going to feed this in through the back side of the door, and we're going to drop this down inside. And as you drop this down, that little metal spring tab that we had bent out on the old one actually engages into these sawtooth type locks. Now as that pushes down, it's going to pull the door handle tighter to the body. So we're going to go ahead and drop these in. Once we get this in, we're going to use a tool to drop down on the top and tap these down to lock it into place. Do that for both left and right hand side. Now before you install this here, make sure the gasket is on the back side of it. We can go ahead and feed this into the door. Now I'm going to reach up on the inside and drop our two sawtooth locks in. Now with both sawtooth locks in place, you put your finger on top of it and push it down. And you can hear it and feel it locking into place. Move left to right, and at the same time you're pushing in on the door handle. Now with the locks in place, you can come out to the outside, check that handle, make sure it's pretty tight, and that's not going anywhere. So let's go ahead and reconnect all of our rods. All right, now we want to go ahead and install our washer again. Now reach up inside. Get that put into place. I want to go ahead and get this rod put on. And now we're going to go ahead and put our cotter pin in. I'm going to push that up from the bottom and lock that into place. Install the rod on the back of the latch mechanism. Push this through and then work our retaining clip back up into place there. Snap that on. Now at this point here, we're safe to go ahead and reinstall our water shield. Now if you had peeled this off and it doesn't want to stick anymore, simply going to use some tape. I'm going to use some heavy duty tape. And you can run around the perimeter of the plastic itself. And what you're going to do is pretty much run around like this here and seal that around, all the way around the perimeter to hold that in place. Now we don't have anything to cover this, so we're gonna leave ours exposed, but on yours, if it's not cut open like this, go ahead and reseal that up. Go ahead and install your window crank handle again. You want to go ahead and lower that glass down. At this point here, go ahead and bring your door panel up. I'm going to get that set into place. There we go. We have the door panel drop down into place. Now we have the plastic push pins. We want to go ahead and lock those in around the perimeter. Get our door handle release set into place. Before I secure these down, I just want to get these started first. I'm going to do this for all of the door panel screws. Get them started, and then we'll come back and snug everything down. Get these two put in on the bottom. Now, if you have the screw for the door panel here, go ahead and install that. Ours was missing, so at this point here, we're going to come back and tighten all of our screws down. You just want to snug these down. You don't want to over tighten them. Install the Phillips head screw for your door handle. Install the door window crank gasket. On your window crank, you want to go ahead and take the metal clip and install that into the notches on the back of the handle. Using a pair of pliers is usually the best way to go. There you have the clip in place. And take that gasket, pull that off and line it up like so. Just kind of get it on the window crank. Line that up and push it on. That little retainer clip secures that. Now that you have the window crank handle on, you can go ahead and test everything. Make sure your door lock works and the release works. At that point there, you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.